Welcome back to Sparks and Grit Garage. Well, if you saw my last video about the Cadillac fuel delivery issues, you might remember the end of it where I said changing the 2 extra fuel filters that I had on there to protect the fuel pump and the carburetor and the factory fuel filter resolved the issue completely. Test drove the car and found out no, that is not true. It did not resolve the issues completely. So apparently there's still a whole lot more debris in the tank, and we're never going to get it all out without just taking the tank off and flushing it out. So in this next video, that's what you're going to see me do. I'm going to pull the tank off there and see if we can refurb it, and at the same time probably change the fuel gauge sending unit because the fuel gauge does not work. The fuel gauge itself works, it just pegs out full every time you turn the key on. So that tells me there's an issue with the fuel gauge sending unit. So I have one of those on the way, and we're going to go ahead and change that out at the same time. Hopefully the tank will refurb and still be a good tank. It looks pretty scaly, pretty rusty on the outside, so I'm cautiously optimistic about that, but we're going to do our best to save this tank because they're like $500 for another one. And you know, spend it if we have to, but if we don't have to, that's even better. So let's go ahead and get started. Luckily this tank has a drain plug in it, so we're going to drain all the gas that's in there out in a bucket or 2 or 3. I don't know how much gas is in it, so the gauge doesn't work. So hopefully we can fix that too at the same time. But as for now, we're just going to get under there and start taking stuff loose so that we can drain the gas out. It's pretty clear coming out of the tank there, but there's definitely some junk in there that's clogging up the fuel lines, so we'll just have to get the tank off to see what it is. We're about this far from the top right now, so I'm out of buckets, so I think what I'm gonna have to do is start transferring this gas into some cans, filtering out the dirt and stuff as we're doing it so I can reuse my buckets, at least one bucket. No open flames or sparks, please. Uh-oh, looks like it's almost empty. Hallelujah. We'll still go ahead and pump this out into some cans. That way it's not just an open container of gasoline or 40-pound bomb.
what you want to do is you want to aim to get all this road dirt and horse manure, rat droppings, and lime dust way back in your eye. I mean, like the farthest back as it can go. That's what you want. Worst part was all the crap falling all over my face and all over me and everything. I hate that. First thing we're gonna do is pressure wash this and then see if we can get the sending unit out of it. Take a look at that, see if it actually is any good. I got a hunch that the wiring was the issue with the gas gauge, but possibly the sending unit too. So let's see if we can, I don't know if we can clean this back up and reuse it or not. We'll see. Pretty caked with rust and crud. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to replace that. Get down in here and look. See anything? Looks pretty crummy. A lot of trash in there. Okay, so here's where we're at. This, I'm pretty confident I'm going to have to replace. This sock is coming apart. And this is kind of the pre-filter, and you can see up in here, this thing is just full of rust. It's been come apart for a while, and there's all kinds of rust and stuff up in the tube. So we need to get the gas gauge working anyway, so I'm going to order this. I think I can save the tank. What we're going to do is we're going to fill this gas tank up with rocks. and maybe some diesel fuel or kerosene or something. And then we're going to strap it to the tire of the tractor, and we're just going to drive around and drink a beer. And maybe one or two of those. And then by the time those are gone, we should be able to dump all the rocks out of this tank and rinse it out with a pressure washer 2 or 3 times. Let it lay out in the sun, bake a little bit, and then it'll dry it out and evaporate whatever's left. We should be good to go. while Master Painter Miss Dillon is taking care of the paint of the gas tank, I'm gonna go down here and get these old straps off and see if we can clean those up, paint those too. Alright, we got the old Caddy Daddy replacement sending unit here. Get it out of the box. See what it looks like. Still waiting on the filler neck extension, the rubber hose that goes from the gas tank to the filler neck, obviously. What's in there? Alright. So it looks more better than the other one. Sure. It's 59 to 64 Cadillac 2-line. This is what we took out of here. Let go. New seal. On. What you might not know is that 2 of these holes are spaced differently than the other 3. Found that out when I made the plug. Cover this up while I have putting the rocks and the diesel fuel in there, trying to break all the rust up. So tricked me for a minute there, but I figured it out. Not too complicated for simple humans, man, to figure out. So then, this looks way more better than the other one. Here, just for comparison's sake, I'll show you the other one. I want to get it right over the tank, but this is what caused the problem. This sock right here came apart, so all the debris that was in the tank was able to get into the fuel line, and the float is about ready to fall apart. So it was time. Definitely the 2-line, pretty close match. Let's see. Pretty near identical. Same, only better. So without further ado, that in here. Right. Unlike what I'm seeing. That one I can't get my fat fingers down in there to get it. Folks, all I gotta say is thank the Lord for long reach air ones, because man, I got covered up with that stuff the other day, but today I think it would have been maybe just as bad or maybe worse. But
I don't know, all that stuff, I mean, it really honestly resembles manure. Like, I don't know if these people who owned this car originally lived on a gravel road and jumped every hill, or a dirt road and jumped every hill. There was gravel in the frame, on every flat surface, just caked with, looked like mud. I don't know, maybe it's the old undercoating that's just dried and flaking off. It's pretty bad. I mean, look at all this stuff. There is a lot of lime dust in there, and just fine sand, stuff like that. I don't know. I've seen farm trucks look bad like this, dump trucks. Never dreamed a 60 Cadillac would look like this on the frame. So anyway, the frame seems like it's got a lot of stuff in it too. So every hole I'm going out through, they're blowing out the holes, and there's just, every hole you see is just like a spray, like a geyser of dust and dirt and junk and whatever. But anyway, I'm thankful I had a long reach air wand to do that. I would probably not have done it if I hadn't, because I would have known roughly what was coming. Didn't know it was going to be that bad. It's pretty bad. Whoa, that feels like about 10 pounds. So we've definitely made the car a little lighter. Good for drag racing. Well, the Caddy gas tank is painted, the sending unit is installed, and the straps are painted. So we're getting dangerously close to reinstalling this gas tank. And what I want to do next is I want to verify that the wiring that hooks to it is okay. And I think it is, but I did find some issues that I'm going to have to work on. So come check this out. I mean, it actually doesn't look too bad. Better than I thought. Now here's the hot wire. Here's the ground lead right here. The only thing I see really is this spot in the ground wire right there where it's been smashed. It's pinched between the tank and the floor pan of the car apparently, and that is rubbed raw right there. It's bare wires, but it is a ground wire, so it doesn't matter. Probably was actually the only thing grounding the sending unit, because this is so rusted and corroded. I doubt that was anything was getting through there, any current whatsoever. So it could have been, but not likely. So what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and just take this ground wire off and just run back here and put a piece of heat shrink tubing on it. I'll replace the eye where it bolts to the frame back here, and then we're going to grind a spot bare and put a new bolt in that, make sure that the sending unit's grounded really well. And we're going to pop the tank back in this thing. So I think all in all it's going pretty well. Tank looks good, it's not leaking. Hopefully we'll have us a gas gauge by the time we get this back together. And the big thing is no bunch of stuff floating around the tank, and a new sending unit, so the sock protects that, and pretty much the fuel system should be good to go. New rebuilt fuel pump, 3 fuel filters, which we won't need that anymore most likely, and a new carburetor, new sending unit. Lines, they got to be clean, so I think we're going to be good. So we're going to pop the tank in now and see if we can get the old Caddy back on the road again.
Now, there's no chance at all this is going to come loose. Just want to get that out in the open now. Got the 6-point, well, look at that. Got the 6-point socket on it. It actually did come loose. I thought for sure this thing was going to be welded on with rust. I had plan B and plan C. Plan B was the old super grip. The super grip wrench. You remember these? Infomercial. That was plan B. If that didn't work, plan C. Definitely would have worked. But thankfully we don't need one of those. This thing came loose. So I'm gonna get it on out of there. I don't know how that just happened, but I'm okay with it. I think we'll reuse that. I'm just gonna clean it up on a wire wheel and put it back in there. Hallelujah. I like it. That's gone.
That was just a washer though. Shoot. This is gonna be brand new. Original Cadillac equipment. Good as new. Talk about. Okay, we are back. The cruise went perfect. The car ran perfect. The gas gauge worked perfectly. So at this time, I'm going to say that the issue is resolved. I don't know what else there could possibly be. The fuel tank is perfectly cleaned out. The fuel sending unit is new. Blew the fuel lines out. Brand new fuel filter. Rebuilt fuel pump. I don't know what else we could possibly do to make this fuel system issue to be resolved. And we test drove the car, and the car drove beautifully and ran beautifully, and so I'm pretty confident that we've got this sorted out now, which makes me feel good. So this thing's a blast to drive. It's just nothing like driving a Cadillac. You can really tell, I'll tell you, driving one of these cars, you can really tell why they cost twice as much as every other car that was made as far as American cars back then. The way this car is built and the way it drives and runs and performs, it just rides, is phenomenal. Even Miss Nikki said that this is the best riding car she's ever been in, that is saying a lot, because I mean, her dad had some pretty nice cars. I mean, he had a Bentley, which rides really well. Several Cadillacs. I mean, he was you know, he was a guy that liked really nice cars, and he had some really nice riding cars, and she's ridden in all of them. And for her to say that this car rides better than any of those did, that's really saying something about the engineering that took place in these cars when they were first designed and built. I mean, just stuff like this right here. I mean, these doors, watch this. When you shut it, it's like a vault. I mean, and I've said this before when I first saw the car in the barn. I mean, I've literally never had another car in which the door latches sounded like that whenever the door's shut. And I've had a lot of cars, and this is probably the oldest car I've ever owned. And to have that sound, that crisp, just crisp, clunky, latchy, vault-like sound whenever you shut the door on a car, I mean, that's just, there's something about that, and you really can't describe it without witnessing it, feeling it for yourself, grabbing hold of the door handle and just shutting the door. I'm weird, I know. Certain things like that I pay attention to, and this is one of those cars. I mean, it's just a very well designed, very nice car, and I'm proud to own it. Well, you know, technically it's Miss Dillon's car now, but for right now, while she don't have a place to keep it, I'm enjoying the car. And as soon as she gets a place with a garage where she can keep it inside, it's all hers. But until then, I'm going to enjoy it, and I do. So thank y'all so much for watching. I'm glad you tuned in. I hope to see you again out there. So keep rocking.